What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Like always, like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Today I'm going to be ranking my November reads. I was able to push through about 17 books this month. A couple of them were kind of small and one of them was kind of huge. I think I could hit like 20 or 21 or 22 if I would have stayed reading the typical 300 to 500 page novels. But read quite a few. There was one I didn't read at all that was in our book club books because I was reading a gigantic World War II book. It's a whole deal. I'll talk about it briefly when I get to it. But I think I went over that book in the haul video, but nobody watched that, so it doesn't matter. But most of the books I read this month, besides 3 of them, I really liked. And then there was like one that I was and then there was one that I didn't hate, but I didn't like it either. So, but the rest after that, I loved all the books after that, so it's hard to actually make the ranking. But some, of course, really took me by surprise. So we'll get started. The first book coming in 17th place, dead last, is Demon Seed. I remembered loving this book as a teenager, so I wanted to give it a reread. And the book's good, but it's not good, actually. And look how it ends. Spoiler alert. Look at the last page. It just ends on the. There's nothing after that. So it's okay. It's definitely not. Dean Koontz still my favorite author. This is one of his weaker works. And it's one of his earlier works. I have yet to watch the movie from the 70s, but I plan on it. But yeah, this book fell flat to me on all cylinders. Then number 16, The Shining. It's 300 pages of a snore bore, and then it finally gets good at the end. It was a slog to get through. It took me. I put it down for like 2 weeks on end. Just like, it was just, I don't know. I think I've grown out of Stephen King. I don't care for his work at all anymore. Smite me, oh smitey ones. And then I'd read a big old World War II nonfiction history book. This book broke me. It took me way too long to read. It was just too much. The information is insane. And then like the notes at the bottom. Let me see if I can find a big thick passage of it. The font is little to begin with, and then the notes at the bottom is even smaller. Like, it was crazy. But the Nazis were complete scumbags. And the one thing I learned from this book, well, 2 things I learned. If I read a gigantic nonfiction book, I'm going to be slow at it because I can't read it as fast as I can read fiction. And the other, I could have read like freaking 10 Star Wars and Star Trek books in the time that it took me to read this giant thing. It killed the end of my month spree, and I'm still having a hard time getting back to as fast as I was reading before I started this one. But the Nazis are scumbags, and the one thing I learned for sure, if you know anybody that's calling anybody a Nazi, you need to just, be like, stop. You don't know history. You should never call anybody that. And another thing people need to realize, the people they call Nazis, the modern conservatives and Christians, the Nazis hated the conservatives and Christians. So what are you doing? People are idiots. This book, if you're a World War II buff, read it. I'll never read another World War II book again. I read enough in this one. I don't want to read it. And then, of course, before I got to that one, we got 17, 16, 15. Number 14, Call to Arms by W.B. Griffin. A decent series. It's historical fiction based in World War II, so I'm done with this series for the time being. I got a different series of his I'm going to start in January or February. I am over World War II. It's not my jam. And then we have 17, 16, 15, 14. 17, 16, 15. Number 13, Star Wars Shadows of Mindor. This book and the rest after this, I loved them all. Or enjoyed them. I won't say love. This one I didn't hate, but I didn't love it. It was kind of disjointed all over the place, it felt to me. But the cover's awesome, and it's Star Wars, so. All right, this one took me by surprise. I feel like I got my ranking wrong. This one should have been a little higher, but it's fine. This book needed to be edited a bit better, not grammar, punctuation, all that. I do have a review coming out of that where I go over that a little more. There was passages in there that didn't need to be there. It could have been 100 pages shorter, but otherwise it's a super good book. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. This is also a trading card company. They got a board game. I talk about all that in the video. Super amazing book. And then Batman Resurrection coming in at number 11, I think. I don't know. My wife was supposed to be helping me keep count. Really good book. John Jackson Miller is a freaking amazing author, and I'm excited to read more of his work in the future and read the second of this book. And I know on my Star Trek list that I'm following, his Prey Okay, so number 11. His Prey trilogy does come in on my list. So, excited for that. Okay, I have the list in front of me now. Yay! Number 10, we have Patriot Games by Tom Clancy. A little bit of a slower book for me of his, but so good. It's definitely ominous in the espionage sense as you're getting the build up. This is kind of, he wrote it later on as he was writing his, well, it wasn't later on. It was one of the earlier, but it basically comes before the Hunt for Red October, I believe. And there's even another one, the Red Rabbit, which I plan on getting to the very last book of December for me. So yeah, I love this book. It was really good. It just was kind of slow compared to Without Remorse, because Without Remorse was just straight, 800 pages of action. So this one slowed down a little bit. There is a movie, I think my wife and I watched it several years ago. We need to rewatch it. It's Harrison Ford. It's going to be good. This book was good in the Jack Ryan universe. I'm reading over the next, probably going to take me 4 or 5 years, all 41, probably be more by then, books in the Jack Ryan universe. I think, later on in the books, his son becomes the main character, so it was a good time. That book was a good time. And then these two books were actually the first and second book I read on November 1st and then November 2nd. I had a super binge reading spree to start the month, which I plan on doing the first weekend of December as well. So Robotech 4, 5, and 6. If you've seen my old review of the first Robotech book, I loved it. It spurred my whole sci-fi space opera obsession, which turned into a Star Wars and Star Trek obsession. And the reason I'm not dropping a review on this book is because I plan on reading the first 6 again, started in January. I'm going to get all the little novellas, either in January or February. I'm going to start collecting the novellas, and I'm going to reread them like that because I want to do that. Don't ask me why. There's no reason. There's no rhyme or reason to my madness, but this book was awesome. It was good. It's a little bit bigger for the omnibus compared to the first one, but Robotech number 6, Doomsday, ends crazy good. It's super awesome, and if you've ever seen the anime, it's super awesome, and I don't know. I can't say enough. But one thing I will say is it was the first book I read, so I kind of I don't remember. It's been a lot of days since, so it'll be fun to reread those. And then coming in at number 8 is, number 8, 7, and 6. But number 8, The Last Command of the Thrawn Trilogy. I can't say enough good things about the Thrawn Trilogy. I'm not going to call them my favorite expanded universe books yet because I don't know. And already I've read this trilogy, which is 3 books, and then 2 other Star Wars books in Shadows of Mindor, and one coming up later on the list. And the one coming up later is definitely my favorite Star Wars book so far. So Last Command ends the trilogy. Really good. Then Dark Force Rising, which I'm almost certain I read as a teenager, not knowing what I was reading. Just read it to pass boring time there in the summer doing nothing. This is the second book in the trilogy. It's also really good. I do want to get the OG covers for the collection because I do love these covers, but the OG covers they hit that nostalgia much better. I want them bad. I'm going to get them. They need to be on my bookshelf. That's for sure. And then to start the trilogy is Hair of the Empire. And I did come across an animated fan film on YouTube that I want to check out of this. I think it's some Australians made it or something. If you know about it, let me know. But I really wish we could get this trilogy as just an animated series, just anything. But this trilogy I will reread again, and I am excited to read more of Timothy Zahn's work. I have Angel Mass and the Cobra trilogy up there on my bookshelf. Angel Mass being in my December TBR. Hopefully I get to it. So that is everything leading to the top 5. Top 5. I loved every single one of these books. I couldn't believe one of them took me by complete surprise. 2 of them really. One of them was so good. I need to do a review, and it's going to be a weird review because I'm just going to read y'all things I tabbed out for you, those of you that are into Christianity and stuff. If you're not, it's cool. You don't have to watch those videos. But this book by Dr. David Jeremiah comes in at number 5, Keep the Faith. It was so good. It was, honestly, I don't remember much of it now, but at the time when I was reading, I was like, oh my God, that's good. I got to tab that. I got to tab that. It was really good. It was a super fantastic book. How to stand strong in a world turned upside down. Because I mean, look at the noise around us. Look at the chaos. So he references a lot of good pieces of scripture, and Dr. David Jeremiah is a fantastic writer. So I'm pretty sure all of his books I will love. I do have. I didn't go over the books I bought of him in the book haul video because I'm probably gonna make a separate nonfiction slash Christian book haul video sometime in December. That's my plan anyway. So this book is good. If you're into Christianity and stuff, Dr. David Jeremiah is a really good author. Check him out. He's also a very good preacher, my favorite. I like watching his stuff. So then the book that took me by absolute surprise and rocked me this month was by an indie author named Mike Duke, friend of mine on Facebook. And this was his first book, Amalgam, Book 1, Contact. I do plan on getting to the second book. I have it up on my bookshelf this month, if not in January. Straight up disgusting space horror to the max. I dropped a review on it. It's sick, man. But it's also really cool. Like, he does an amazing job. This book is really good. I couldn't believe how much I loved this book, and I'm not even huge into horror anymore. But I love space stuff, obviously. You know, if you've been following what I've been up to the last couple of weeks, space, sci-fi, I'm all about it. Like, we've been binge watching Star Trek The Next Generation like mad people in the original series, and I went from 0 Star Trek books to about 100. I don't know, man. I got a serious problem when it comes to getting obsessed with stuff. And then my favorite Star Wars book so far and this month is Star Wars Truce of Bakura. This book was amazing. I'm not going to go too much depth into it because right after this video I'm shooting a review. But man, it was good. It was a great book by Kathy Tyers. I'm interested to see if she wrote any more in the expanded universe. I'm assuming she did. I need to look her up. Check out her other work. But this book was good. And then number 2 and number 1, it's second place and first place, but we're going to count 2 and 1 as 1. And that's Star Trek Deep Space Nine Avatar Book 1 and Book 2. You can literally read these as one novel. And but I spaced them out. I wish I wouldn't have, but it was okay. This one was still fresh in my head. And I just finished this one last night. They are so good. These books spurred my obsession with Star Trek. I love Star Trek. I am all about it right now. And I don't see myself phasing out of it anytime soon because it's such a immersive universe to get lost in. Same with Star Wars. A lot of my reading in December is going to be Star Wars and Star Trek. But these books were good. S.D. Perry is such an amazing writer. I actually have her novelization of Time Cop coming. If you know what that is, I think it was the late 80s, early 90s with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'll probably read that this month. I'll bump something to January to read that. But these books were so good, and I can't wait to get to her other books in the list I'm following. And check those out as well. I will have a short review of book 2. I'm going to shoot it right after this video as well. But that's number 2 and number 1 in my list. My 17 reads for November. I'm hoping to read I'm going to shoot for 20 books in December. I think I can make it happen since I'm not going to read no 1,500 page nonfiction book about the Nazis because, man, that was a mistake. There's a million other books I could have read that I think I would have enjoyed better. That book, man, I don't think people know the actual history of the Nazis. And if you think you know, read that book and you're going to be totally like, okay, I didn't know. Because, yeah, we didn't know. But that's the list, guys. 17 books for November I feel like was pretty good. I don't know. I may not hit 20 in December because we are watching a little bit more TV. And I'm watching my wife play Mass Effect because I want to read the novels. But I didn't want to play the game, so I'm watching her play it. And I do have Mass Effect Revelations, the first book of the series, coming up after I finish Star Trek Strangers from the Sky. So I'll be dropping reviews on all those next week as I finish them. But that's the video today, guys. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Later. Oh, follow us on the TikTok and the Instagram. We'll link them in the description below. Later.